Is 2022 the year that cancel culture dies? Men have been saying that this isn't going to work for all of mankind. In my lifetime, I remember it starting pretty good in the 70s, and nobody wanted to listen. And it's just slowly progressed, getting worse and worse and worse. I think the beginning of the end was actually when President Trump was elected. The liberals went crazy.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping.
You're awake, by the way. You're not having a terrible, terrible dream. Also, you're not dead and you haven't gone to hell. This is your life now. This is our election now. This is us. This is our country. It's real.
It has to be a joke. I cannot believe this is happening. I literally am gonna die. I need an ambulance. I can't believe
that in her lifetime she deserves to be the first female president. And that's what makes me so sad. And President Obama, Mr. Obama, I want to say thank you for everything you've done in these past years.
Left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain.
not my president! Not my president! Not my president! Not my president!
Still remains within the sound of sound.
Bing, 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 bong, bong, bing, 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 bong.
I'm triggered.
The next item that came up onto the scene was Kevin Samuels in late 2020. What I think made Kevin Samuels such a hit on the internet was, while men have been saying these things forever, Mr. Samuels actually sits down and has one-on-one conversations with these women in real time and tells them the truth. These women know that something is wrong. They don't know what's wrong. Some of them are so buried into their lies that they refuse to accept what he says, while others actually listen.
I honestly want a six-figure guy, is what I'm realizing.
Okay, so let me just go ahead and net it out for you. You ready?
Uh-huh.
The guys you want aren't asking you out.
This is the first time that Mr. Samuels has attempted to politely let her know that men simply aren't interested in her. Let's see how this goes.
Well, I haven't been putting myself out there, honestly.
But you put yourself out there enough for the guys you don't want or beneath you to ask you out.
Those are like guys I met online.
Right. So, again, the men you want are not asking you out.
This is the second time Mr. Samuels has tried to tell her that men simply are not interested in her. She is so deep into the lie of feminism that she has bought into, she cannot face reality.
The better question is, why can't you get a guy on your level? Do you know any men who make six figures or more?
Not on a personal level.
So you don't know them. You don't know what they want, but you want him. I'm going to suggest that you really don't know what you want. And saying six figures is just something that you've got taken from out there. But I'm not hearing this rooted to anything.
Third time.
I have a son, so...
How old is your son?
13.
Where's the father?
He's not enough in his life.
I say, where's the father?
Well, he's not like in it like I would like him to be.
All right, so let me go ahead and take this down. Ma'am, men who make the kind of money you're talking about have options. And typically I don't want to deal with women who have 13-year-old sons who are used to dating men who, this doesn't sound appealing to the kind of man you're talking about. Do you understand what I'm saying?
4 times.
35, 13-year-old son with a sketchy father. Why would a man who's in the top 10% of earners who women across the country want that?
5th time.
If you had a son making that kind of money, would you want him to bring home a woman who had a 13-year-old son from a sketchy father? Or would you prefer him to get a woman who had no children, was younger, and easier to get on his program?
6 times Mr. Samuels has now tried to tell this woman.
Depending on his age.
See what I mean? See what I mean? This goes so deep for black women. Should have been an easy question. No, I would not want my son I want the best for my son. That should have been the appropriate answer. That's why I sat up. That is bullshit. You should want the best for your son.
Of course. If he brought home a woman, yes, I feel like I'm the accepted to the rule. But
No, you're not. That's the problem. You all think you're the exception to the rule, but your life is proven to you that you're not. And then when someone like myself comes along and gives you a dose of reality, instead of just accepting it, it's like, yeah, but I'm special. You don't know any men on this level that aren't related to you. That means you don't know these men. You don't know where to go get them. You don't know what they want, but you're still saying, pick me. They don't want mid-30-year-old baby mamas.
7 times. 7 times he has told this woman the men she wants do not want her.
I'm trying to be polite, man, but they don't want those.
We're up to 8 times.
They do have better options, but also those better options are younger girls. 20-year-olds are not necessarily attracted to 45-year-olds.
Bullshit. I'm 51 and I can't beat them off with a stick. That's another one of you lies. No, younger women are attracted to older men. What are you talking about? What would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? You cannot use 7.
My face when I wake up, 5, but when I put myself together, 6.
Okay. And how tall are you?
5'5".
Your dress size?
A 3.
Okay. So that makes you, if you give yourself a 5, that's average. Average looking women tend not to get high earning men. They tend to get average men.
9 times Mr. Samuels has tried to tell this woman she cannot acquire what she says that she wants.
So
Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Breathe and digest. You're 35 years old and you can look around and see the world. You don't tend to see higher earning men with average looking women. But a man earning the kind of money you're talking about does not go for an average looking woman.
This is now the 11th time that this woman has been told by Mr. Samuels she is not what the men she wants want.
Okay, average looking women, average looking woman who's older, average looking older woman with a 13-year-old son, average looking woman with a 13-year-old son with a sketchy baby daddy. This gets worse every time I say something. And now you're asking for a man who's in the top 10% of men. You don't qualify for one.
12 times. So far we have 12 times she has been told. How many times does this woman have to be told?
Then you're going to die alone. How about that? Let me just cut to the chase, ma'am. You can feel like what you want to, but women like you die alone. Straight up.
Could this be lucky number 13?
Men don't care about your money. Not the kind of men that you want. We don't care about your money. It ain't ours. We care about the fact that you are older and you got kids. And you're average.
No lucky 13. We're up to 14 now. I wonder how long this will go on.
Why did you choose to make a baby with him before you got married?
Young and dumb. I was 16.
Exactly. And that cost women. Young and dumb is not a get out of jail free card. It doesn't go woof and change the fact. You still have to carry that consequence. And men are not rushing up to be stepfathers to 13-year-olds.
This exchange went on for 22 or 23 minutes. Bottom line is this woman would not let go of the lies that she has bought into and refuses to face the fact that the path that she's chosen in life is not getting her the results that she thought she was going to get. The reason I included this was to show how obstinate women can be when it comes to being on the wrong path. And cancel culture comes directly from women, from feminism. They do not want to hear that what they're doing is wrong. Cancel culture is getting rid of everything that is in conflict with what they are saying, no matter how wrong they are. Netflix closes down 35%, wiping more than $50 billion off market cap. At least 9 Wall Street firms downgraded the stock on the disappointing report. Shares of Netflix closed down more than 35% Wednesday after the streamer reported earnings Tuesday evening that showed it lost subscribers for the first time in more than 10 years. The results and weak outlook led to a wave of downgrades from Wall Street on fears over the company's long-term growth potential. The drop caused Netflix to shave more than $50 billion off its market cap. It is now the worst performing stock of 2022 in the S&P 500, down 62.5% year to date, and it's only May. Several streaming services stocks took a dive Wednesday morning along with Netflix as investors waited wait for updates on their growth. Shares of Disney closed down about 5.5%. Similarly, shares of Roku closed down more than 6%. Paramount stock slumped 8.6%, and Warner Brothers Discovery slipped by about 6% on the day. Disney and Paramount are both woke companies. Warner Brothers Discovery is the company that bought CNN. Roku, I do not know if it would be considered a woke company or not. The beginning was Netflix ran a movie, Cuties, came out of France, and it was a sexualization of pre-pubescent girls. Since then, they've gone more and more woke. I think what we're watching here is the people have had enough. They're finished with it. Netflix blames it on people going back to work and so on and so forth, and I think they're just in denial, but yet we're going to see something later in the video that shows that maybe they're not in denial. We had the episode where the Washington Post had doxed libs of TikTok. And it says here, the left-wing media has declared war on conservatives, exposing radicals. From the Washington Post, meet the woman behind libs of TikTok, secretly fueling the rights outrage machine. Now, something to understand about libs of TikTok. All it was a woman who was collecting videos that liberals had put out there, building a compilation of them and posting them. That was it. It was already out there. For whatever reason, this terrified these left-wing, the lunatics out there. And now Washington Post journalist Taylor Lorenz and her editor, Christina Passariello, have put together a story that exposes the person behind libs of TikTok, doxing her and harassing her and her family. Taylor Lorenz, the author of this piece, is a quintessential example of the modern-day journalist being an absolutely terrible person. It gets better, folks. From Taylor Lorenz herself on Twitter with her blue checkmark. I know you're joking, but doxing, stalking, trying to hurt and smear people's loved ones, threatening them, it's not okay in any situation. People on here who constantly stoke these politicized outrage campaigns want to dismiss it, but it shouldn't be dismissed. Has very real consequences. This is from the woman who doxed the libs of TikTok. And now she's turned around and done this action that's not okay in any situation to her enemy, libs of TikTok. Because again, as Shapiro points out, she's a bad person. But what happened, Tim Pool of Timcast IRL, Tim Pool takes out billboard in Times Square calling out the Washington Post for doxing libs of TikTok. There's a picture of the billboard. Taylor Lorenz doxed libs of TikTok. Tim Pool and Jeremy Boring, the co-CEO of the Daily Wire. And they took out this billboard. The point being is people are starting to strike back. This bad behavior has been from normal people. They've taken a position of, if you just ignore them, they'll go away. Well, they haven't gone away. Now, the people have had enough, and they're striking back. Then we had Disney. Disney slams Florida's parental rights and education bill after DeSantis signs off. Disney slammed Florida's parental rights and education bill after the legislation was officially signed into law by Governor Ron DeSantis on Monday. Florida's HB 1557, also known as the Don't Say Gay bill, should never have passed and should never have been signed into law, the company said in a statement. Our goal as a company is for this law to be repealed by the legislature or struck down in the courts, and we remain committed to supporting the national and state organizations working to achieve that. We are dedicated to standing up for the rights and safety of LGBTQ plus members of the Disney family, as well as the LGBTQ plus community in Florida and across the country. The Parental Rights and Education Bill prohibits Florida educators from teaching about sexual orientation or gender identity in kindergarten through third grade. Why is it so important that these people go after such young children? In response, Florida governor signs bills stripping Disney of self-governing authority. And the article goes into why. Many believe it was retaliation for what Disney had to say. And honestly, as a company, I don't think Disney has any place poking its nose into the governing of the state. So when the self-governing authority was stripped away from Disney, Disney stocks tumble 31% as it's set to be stripped of its special privileges in Florida. We're watching a trend here. Disney stocks continue its sharp decline as the company is set to rank among the worst performing stocks in 2022. Right in there with Netflix. You know what they say? Get woke, go broke. Another event that took place in 2022, Elon Musk reaches deal to buy Twitter for $44 billion. Now, Elon Musk has stated that his plan is to take the company private and to make it a free speech platform. This is driving the liberals crazy. This has proven what people have been saying all along, that the left is censoring the right. These woke companies are silencing anything that would be considered a conservative viewpoint. I believe that what this will bring is Facebook will end up having to follow suit. YouTube will have to follow suit. These other platforms that censor, and it is censoring, it's veiled as removing threats, but it's not threats. It's just a different opinion, and they don't want anybody to hear it. As promised from the Royal News Network, Meghan Markle's Hollywood implodes as Netflix cancels their animated project Pearl. Meanwhile, Prince Harry plays polo. Now, Netflix also canceled 2 other animated projects, and all 3 of these projects would be considered woke. So perhaps Netflix is catching on that this woke agenda is bankrupting them. Maybe. CNN had started CNN Plus, a streaming service, March 29th. Here they announced in CNN Business that it will shut down at the end of April. CNN has given many different reports as why they'd be doing this, but I believe the truth of the matter is they simply didn't get any subscribers. They have been losing viewers consistently for the last 4 years or so, and I don't know why anybody would have thought that people would pay for a streaming service when they're not watching CNN for free. In any case, CNN had spent $300 million on this project, and it's dead within 30 days. In other news, new CNN chief Chris Leak gives Discovery a chance to build a bridge from Jeff Zucker to a new era. This man's got me a little conflicted on which way I think it's going to go. They say he was responsible for founding MSNBC's Morning Joe with Joe Scarborough in 2007 as the show's executive producer. He joined CBS in 2011 to reinvent CBS's morning show, which has struggled with low ratings and lack of focus. In 2016, he moved on to become the executive producer of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and again helped by boosting its ratings. While Zaslav, which is the CEO of Discovery, hasn't made any public comments about displeasure with CNN under Zucker, Discovery board member and controlling shareholder John Malone told CNBC's David Faber in November he would prefer CNN to morph back into the network that gained prominence in the 1990s. I would like to see CNN evolve back to the kind of journalism that it started with and, actually have journalists, which would be unique and refreshing, Malone said to Faber. The former CNN chief, reference to Zucker, has been a role model for said one former colleague, which is potentially good news for employees who have vociferously supported Zucker in recent weeks and praised his leadership. This makes me a bit nervous. I mean, I'm not nervous. I don't own stock in CNN. The direction that it's going in, there are a lot of people who were hoping that this would be a remake of CNN and move it away from the type of network that it has become. 2022 seems to be the year that just keeps on giving. The Supreme Court draft opinion that would overturn Roe v. Wade, published by Politico. This was leaked by someone inside the court system. That's really not relevant to what I have to say on the subject. Roe v. Wade should have never been heard by the court. Supreme Court's job is to interpret a law and determine whether or not the law is constitutional. There was no law. All this is going to do is put the subject of abortion in the hands of the states to create laws that can be interpreted by the Supreme Court. In any case, it appears though the normal people have had enough, and they are now starting to fight back. They are fighting back monetarily, they are fighting back legally, they are fighting back in ways like the billboard from Tim Pool and the Daily Wire. Is 2022 the year when all this lunacy is just thrown away? No more green-haired women, no more women running around covering their faces in menstrual blood. No more naked women running in the streets. No more gay pride parades. No more any of this nonsense. Grooming children to be drag queens. All this nonsense. Drag queen story hour in the libraries where males are exposing themselves to children. All of it looks like it's on its way out. That's it for me. Y'all have a great day, and I'm out.